Okay, so last night I referred to this chopping technique for to dice an onion, and so I thought I would demonstrate that. So here is an onion, a white onion. Uh, there's red, there's yellow, there's white. It's different things kind of call for different types of onions. I just had a white onion, so I'm like, fuck it, I'm doing the white onion. So yeah, so all right. So the first step is to just slice the onion in half, I guess top to bottom. So like kind of like, so that you see those grains going up and down. So yeah, that's pretty basic, and yeah. And then this next step is to cut off the top of the onion. So, you can probably tell the top from the bottom of the onion. I mean, the top's a little bit more like a flower poof, and the bottom is more like a root thing. So, in case you're confused, but you cut off the top in this case. And so that's what I did tonight. Yeah. And now comes the kind of interesting part. You slice the onion kind of along the grain, essentially, just these straight cuts along, just side by side, close together, but not too close together. But you don't like slice all the way through the onion. You like, leave your knife point like sort of away from just enough away from the base so that it's not like gonna fall off, right? So you just like, so that base like near the root there is like, the onion things are still attached, but they're like, sliced up until that point, and that becomes useful in a second. So all right. So then all you have to do is once you have those cuts and you have those like sort of finger like things, you just cut crosswise, 90 degrees to those last cuts that you did, and you just do like, thin slices. And because like all those, whatever finger things are all separated, and the onion itself has that sort of, oniony like layer by layer by layer thing, kind of going top to bottom. You just cut it at that 90 degrees, and voila, you've got diced onion, and it's pretty simple. So yeah, all right. Unlike last night, I decided not to use the crock pot, and then I just I'm gonna use the oven at the 170 Fahrenheit temperature. So I have one of these, sort of disposable bake pans that you can get at the grocery store. And so you can see all the carrots, onions, and celery, and potatoes. And basically, like, I did that like last night. I had this like sort of I did have to kind of accelerate things last night, and I don't know. And I probably have to do that tonight too. Which yeah, I wish I didn't have to do that. But anyway, uh, it, what I did was I actually prepped the vegetables a little bit. Like instead of just putting them in the slow cook, like expecting them to all, just cook out in the slow cook, I kind of gave them a little bit of like a 15-minute kind of session in the boiler. And so that kind of gave them, kind of got them some of the way there. And so the slow cook should do the rest, I would imagine. And yeah, so I made a bed of the vegetables in the baking pan, and that is so that the tri-tip could sit on top of it. And yeah, all right. So I seasoned the tri-tip, just salt, pepper, thyme, and parsley, and sage, actually. Parsley, sage, and thyme. The rosemary went into the base mix. which we'll get to next, I think. Uh, and I, like, hey, I know I am not supposed to season the thing on the styrofoam fucking board that came in. And I usually have like plates at the ready to do that, and I just didn't tonight because I got started. I knew I had to get started, and I hadn't like cleaned the kitchen up from last night because I went right to bed after eating, and so we were kind of had like limited time and options. But I do put it on a clean plate and stuff. So yeah. Oh, and I did give it a quick rinse too. You should know. So, all right, yeah. So I didn't take any stills of my gravy preparation. This is another gravy mixture. This time I used a chicken bouillon. But the basic steps there are you got two pans going. One is just boiling water with the bouillon in it, and if you want to add other stuff, you can. And then the other is like a fry pan that you make a roux in, and that's just a combination of either butter and flour. You can use vegetable oil and flour, which is what I did tonight. You can use any kind of fatty substance. But yeah, like I got to study up a little bit more on this gravy because this time it got really like thick, way more thick than I thought it would. And I'd add more water, and I actually measured out like how much water I should have in there. In the in that tray, and I was like, okay, about 4 cups, and I actually had to add like 2 extra cups to this gravy mixture. So like like after you make the and you got this like bouillon in a pan, you like combine the two things into that saucepan, and then stir it and add spices and do whatever you want to do with it. But it should be like a fairly gravy-like consistency, and tonight it was like a little bit more. It was a little more pasty, but I really couldn't do much more with it. I just couldn't. I just didn't have capacity to keep adding water or something, and so it is what it is. It's like kind of thick, but it's only meant to be a base in the thing. I guess it could be like kind of a gravy too, and we'll see how that works. I don't know why I went with chicken tonight instead of the beef bouillon, but I've got this beef bouillon that's it's actually like a paste. It's not like a powder. It's actually like a paste, and it's just kind of, I don't know, a little messy. It's not as clean as just having a powder you just scoop up and dump in, or those bouillon cubes that you unwrap and just drop them in and stuff. So I don't know. I just didn't want to deal with it tonight. I was dealing with so much shit. But yeah, we'll see. It came out like okay. It tastes okay, and I'm sure the beef will render out a bit of juice and fat and stuff, and it'll add to all that. So we'll see if I use it as a gravy or not, or if it's just like going to be a coating with the veggies and potatoes. Yeah. Well, so the more experience, the more you learn, and the more you like say, "Oh, I'm curious about this. Let me look this up. This question." So we'll be looking into those things. But got it to at this point, and then you can see it's like almost full to the top on that baking pan, and yeah. So we'll see. See how it comes out. All right.